Everybody, I welcome you all back. As I already told you, we have series mock online test 4 on July 26 and I am blending it with UG and PG. We have two separate prizes because from this series 4 we start computing the marks. It is duty of all CRs to compute the marks and we get first prize out of UG and PG, and other second and third they are given commendation certificate. In this we have some rules. I will give the paper at dot 11 and CRs will note the time which submit around 12:30. In this I add UG, beside UG, the biotechnology topics I did, somatic emergency, sonographic variations, plant media, nutrient media, and molecular bio we did, that is immunology, and today apoptosis, right? So be on toes, work hard, and this is for your betterment. If you clear these exams, then it will be your habit to clearing the exams when you appear in the competitive exams. I assure you, you all will clear GATE. Where I assure you, where for UGC you have to work hard. So today I will start that is basically cell programming death. So be indoors, be safe. I will write back, stay on. Thank you. Welcome back. As I already told you, today's topic is of immense importance. That is apoptosis. Apoptosis is basically a programmed cell death or cellular suicide. Apoptosis is orderly process in which cell contents are packed into small packets of membrane for garbage collection by immune cells. It is hence also called a tidy way. We compare it with the other process, that is necrosis. Here the cells are killed by the things that harm, such as toxic chemical, physical injuries, and the process is called necrosis. Necrosis is a messy where the cells first swell up and its content then leak out, then it through holes in the plasma membrane. When it bursts, it results in the inflammation of tissue. Hence, it will result in debris. That's why it is called messy process, and it is a messy because it results in the inflation in the surrounding and also results in the infection. Apoptosis, the tidy way which I explained just now, the cells that undergo apoptosis go through a different and much more orderly process. They shrunk and develop bubble-like protrusions, and some organelles such as endoplasmic reticulum break down into fragments. In the end, the entire cells splits into small chunks, that is apoptotic bodies enclosed in small package of membrane. So if we go to just basic knowledge of the apoptosis, here is the cell, and first we have the DNA fragmentation, and then chromatin condensation, then the process of nucleus fragmentation, and ultimately the cell fragmentation, membrane bound apoptotic bodies, and these are eaten by the phagocytosis or macrophages. And this is the general process, and how it occurs we will do system wise. So these chunks release signals that attract debris eating, that is macrophages. The fragments of dying cells displace lipid molecules phosphatidyl serine on their surface. Phosphatidyl serine is usually hidden in the inside of membrane. When it is on the outside, it gives signals to the phagocytes. Eat me signal. See, normal plasma membrane, we have the head and tail, and here is a van der Waals force of attraction, and here is a protein, we have the electrostatic force of attraction, and these molecules, they are towards the phosphatidyl serine molecule towards the inside. But when it breaks, these phosphatidyl serine, they are exposed, and these phosphatidyl, when exposed on apoptotic bodies, they give these signals called eat me signals, and they are eaten by the macrophages or phagocytosis. So one question is, which is the form of eat me signals? The term apoptosis is Greek, literally mean falling off. It comes from the Greek word. The apoptosis is better known as the natural, well orchestrated, well sequenced program death, and they are coined by John Kerr, Andrew Whaley, and A.R. Curie, 1972. The molecular basis of apoptosis was elucidated for the first time by the studies in the nematode C. elegans, that is Cyanohabditis elegans. So during the embryonic development, the worm C. elegans produce 1090 cells, of which 130 cells are precisely destined due to apoptosis. Only when CED3 is in active form. Genes homologous to CED3 of C. elegans in other organisms, including human, is called capsaicin. So we will take the abstract of this. Here are the genes which regulate apoptosis in nematodes. CED3, 4, 9. If mutations occur in 3, no apoptosis. 4, no apoptosis. CED9 mutation, it inactivates CED9 and it results in the normal cells, normal growth. So it is the CED9 which controls, which has a negative regulator of apoptosis. And this CED9 suppresses the CED4. If we can say like this, it suppresses the CED4, and CED4 suppresses the CED3. So if there is mutation in CED9 and it become inactivate, it will not suppress the CED4, and CED4 then activate the CED3 and it result in the apoptosis. So this is the sequence which occur in the C. elegans. Now we are coming to the genes which are equivalent in human, that is caspases, cysteine dependent aspartate directed protease. C-cysteine dependent aspartate directed protease. So apoptotic caspases are subcategorized as initiator caspase, caspase 2, 8, 9, 10. I am taking small examples, not all. And then are the executor caspases 3, 6, 7. Upper one initiate and make the executor caspase to active form, and the execution is done by these 3. Here you want to note that these initiator capsaces, they are the monomer, and the executor, they are the dimers. Then we are coming to the BCL2 family. The BCL2 family is most notable for their regulation of apoptosis, a form of programmed cell death at the mitochondria. BCL2 family proteins, it is required to understand these categories for the later on use. BCL2 family proteins are categorized in 3 categories. First is the anti-apoptotic. These are the BCL2, BCLXL, Anti-apoptotic BCL2 proteins inhibit apoptosis and ensure cell survival. And it has 4 domains, that is BH4, then 3, then 1 and 2. Whereas the second is the pro-apoptotic. It has 2, multi-domain and BH3. Multi-domain, they have 3 domains, that is why it is called multi. Back and backs, BH1, 2 and 3 and 4 is absent, right? Whereas the third is BH3 only. It consists of BID, BAD, NOXA, PUMA, BIM, and it has 1 domain. Now question arises, which of having 1 domain, which has a multi-domain, that is 3 domain, which have 4, and in between that is multi-domain and which domain is absent? BH4. So BH3, it has small BH3 domain, inhibit anti-apoptotic BCL2 member, that is these BCL2 and BCLXL, and stimulate by acting pro-apoptotic BCL2, right? So now what will happen? See, BCL2, it inhibit apoptosis. I will explain you later how. And BCL2 is equal to CD9 of C. elegans, and it do not allow apoptosis, so uncontrolled division, and it causes the cancer cells. So this is the all BCL2 we did. So now we are moving to the next part, that is how the program occur in the apoptosis mechanism occur in C. elegans. So as I told you, first I start the intrinsic cell death pathway in the C. elegans. Here there is we have apoptotic stimuli, and this results in the activation of egg laying defective protein. In C. elegans, cell death is induced by egg laying defective EGL protein. EGL, which shares homologo with pro-apoptotic BCL2 family of members, whose role is to disrupt the interaction between CD9 and 4, thereby allowing CD4 to activate CD3 and apoptosis. See how? When there is a apoptotic signal, that is stimuli in form of egg laying defective proteins, his role is just to engage it, that is to interact with it, so that it will not inactivate CD4, and the released CD4 is then translocated to the perinuclear space, where 8 CD4 molecules form funnel shaped structure. This structure is the core of apoptosomes, and CD4 structure is similarity to the mammalian APF APAF1, which we will do later on. Though CD4 they lacks autoinhibitory WD40 repeats, it is a difference between this. So this is the how apoptosis occur in the C. elegans. Same we did here also. Here we tell EGL it interact with it. It does not allow it to suppress. It get free, reaches to the perinuclear space, where the 8 molecules of it, they form a funnel shaped structure, apoptosome, which activates CD3 and call apoptosis. So second process is in the human. Here also the same apoptotic stimuli comes, and the cytochrome 3 is released, and this cytochrome 3 released reaches cytosol, where it reacts with the APAF, and APAF, after reacting with the APAF and ProCAPS9, it form a apoptosome, and these converts these ProCAPS3 to CAPS3 and call apoptosis. So here I want to tell you APAF1 It forms the backbone of apoptosomes. It has three distinct regions: the N-terminal caspase recruitment domain, also called CARD, it comes from CARD, CARD. It at CARD occurs as N-terminal, a central nucleotide binding and oligomerization region, and C-terminal, where WD40 region, where these WD40, I already told you, they remains, that is auto-inhibitory W40 repeats, which are not present in the CED4. APAF1 interacts with the PROCAPS9 and involved with the recruitment within the apoptosomes. The C region or C-terminal WD40 region of APAF1 contains 15 WD40 repeats structured into two B propeller shaped domains. In the absence of cytochrome C, APAF exists in the monomeric form. It is thought that WD40 domain remain folded back into the protein, keeping APAF in an auto-inhibited state. As soon as it folded, it does not allow, as shown by mass spectrophotometry, that auto-inhibited or locked state ADP is bound to the ATPase domain. In this state, this protein is singular and incapable of inactivating or activating any caspases. So it is the WD40 which makes APAF inactivated. And to explain it more, I will tell you, in human, cytochrome C is released from binding site on the inner mitochondrial membrane that contains cardiolipin molecules. The pro-apoptic molecules cause permeabilization of the outer membrane, leading to efflux of cytochrome C, which binds to the APAF1 and the initiator caspase 9 in the cytosol to form apoptosome. To get it more knowledge, I will tell you how this acts. See, this is the mitochondria, and this mitochondria, it has outer covering, and as I already told you, the cytochrome C is released from the binding sites on the inner mitochondrial membrane and it comes out, and it is the back and backs, there results in the permeabilization of the outer membrane and cytochrome C is released. And this cytochrome C released, as soon as it is released, whereas in absence of this cytochrome C, APAF WD40 region, it folded inside and make it APAF inactive. And because of the release of this cytochrome C, it react with the comes in cytosol and react with the APAF and PROCAPS9 to form a complex called apoptosome. But this is not so simple. It is, I already told you, BCL2 and BCLXL. First, I told you, explain again, BCL2 family. We have anti-apoptic, that is BCL2 and BCLX2, and pro-apoptic. In pro-apoptic, we have multi-domain, which is backs and back, and these backs and back, it cause permeabilization and release of cytochrome C into the cytosol. But these anti-apoptotic BCL2 family members, this is BCL2, BCLXL, what they do, they first neutralize the backs and back. See, backs and back, instead of going here, go straight and groove, attach into this groove. They inactivate, and by inactivating does not allow the permeabilization of membrane, and cytochrome C is not released and apoptosis phenomenon does not occur. And the second, I already told you, the second pro-apoptotic is the BH3, which is single domain BID, BAD, NOXA, PUMA, BIM. And these are the BID, BAD, NOVA, PUMA. The BCL2 family also catch hold of them and neutralize the anti-apoptotic BCL2, that is BH3 members. So first they attached B and does not allow its permeabilization. Next, the BH3 they attach them and neutralize them so that they are in interaction and they will not catch hold of backs and back, and it result in the permeabilization. First they are shikari and then they got themselves shikar by BH3 members. This is Nova, Puma, Bad, Noxa, Bed, BIM. So now we are coming to the next apoptosome we have did, which binds to the adapter APAF1 and initiator capsis 9 in cytosol to form apoptosomes complex. I hope you all are clear with this. This stimulates caspase 9, which in turn activates the effector capsasis. The mitochondria also released protein called SMAC and OMI into the cytosol. Both indirectly promotes apoptosis by blocking the effects of group of anti-apoptotic proteins called inhibitors of apoptosis, IAPS. So there is one more mechanism. These are the inhibitor of apoptosis proteins. They are formed. What they do? They inhibit ProCASP9 and ProCAPS3. They are also controlled by these SMAC and OMI. These SMAC and OMI, when backs and back cause permeabilization with cytochrome C are released, this SMAC and OMI. And these SMAC and OMI, they basically interact with IAPS, that is inhibitors of apoptosis proteins, and make it inactive, and procapsin 9 change to the procapsis 3 and then call apoptosis. So here I want to tell you the anti-apoptotic proteins BCL2 and BCLXL inhibit cytochrome C release and make mitochondria pores impermeable. So these anti-apoptotic BCL2 members, they work exactly opposite to the pro-apoptotic multi-domain, that is back and backs. Note, apoptosis inhibitors such as IAPS, which result in the down regulation of procaps, down regulation. This is down regulation of procaps 9 and then caps 3, is blocked by pro-apoptotic factors SMAC and OMI, which are released from mitochondria along with cytochrome C. It is believed that cytosolic APAF1 lacking bound cytochrome C exists in an inactive form, and the C-terminal domain where cytochrome C binds act as autoinhibitor because it consists of WD40, that is 15 WD repeats, which makes it inactive by folding back into protein and does not allow the attachment of ATP. So where ADP is bound instead of ATP is. Through intramolecular contact with N-terminal region of protein. So this way finishes, and I again revise you that first we have caspase. Caspase is the cysteine dependent aspartate directed protease 2 type initiator, and initiator again activate the executor. 2, 8, 9, 10 is our initiator, and 3, 6, 7 are executor. BCL2 family, they are anti-apoptotic BCL2, BCLXL, and pro-apoptotic may we have multi-domain back and backs. 3 domains it has: BH3, BID, BAD, Noxa, Puma, 1 domain, and this inhibit anti-apoptotic BCL2 members by just interacting with them and blocking their site for attachment for the BCL, that is back and backs. So back and backs cause permeabilization and release the cytochrome C, and along with the cytochrome C, it has the SMAC and OMI, which inhibit the IAPS. IAPS means the inhibitor of apoptosis proteins. So this we did in the elegans. Elegans EGL1, it inhibit the interaction of CD9 and 4. CD3 become free and cause apoptosis, whereas human, the CD3 4 role is taken by PAF1 and it causes apoptosis with cytochrome release, and SMAC and OMI we did with very explanation. So now I will just wiping it out. Tomorrow I will do this one. Here apoptosome is formed because cytochrome C come and react with APAF1 and ProCAPS9, and it makes the ProCAPS3 to active CAPS3, and this active CAPS3 makes the ProCAPS6 to active CAPS6, and active CAPS cause the lamins to the cleaved lamin, that is nuclear fragmentation. And I already told you, for apoptosis phenomenon, first is the DNA fragmentation we did, and then we have the nuclear fragmentation which we did tomorrow, and then we are eating of that is due to the phosphatidylserine, and that is macrophages. And tomorrow I will do this, a very important topic. So any problem, please revert back to me. Please revise it. I will come not on tomorrow, day after tomorrow, because I will give you one more day to revise all what we did, right? So a PAF basically folded inside, right, at WD-40 and making it inactive. This is very important, right? So take care, stay indoors. I will be back day after tomorrow. Please revise it. Bye bye.